nerds, it is Wednesday, which means it is time for yet another Here Are All the Things I Thought While Watching Miss Marvel episode 2. And yes, before you ask, I do have 2 absolutely lovely stickers on my face gifted to me by kids at Kids Fringe Campy Camp today. I've got a pair of dinosaur eggs, and then I also have a narwhal. And I'm very proud of them, as you should be anytime a child gives you a sticker. So yeah, they're my accessories for today, and I really like them. Now let's dive into Miss Marvel. This will be unfiltered thoughts full of spoilers. So if you haven't watched the show and you plan to, don't watch this video. Unless you really are into spoilers, in which case I probably spoiled the whole episode. So feel free to listen and then watch, I guess. We're gonna start with the previously on. Am I upset that the car crash, my least favorite part of episode 1, was also part of the previously on? Yes. Yes, I am. Thanks for asking. I get why eventually when you get into the episode, because like the driving thing does come up again, but it didn't have to. I could have lived without that. Just putting it out there. Everybody else seems to think it's really funny. I do not. But what I did enjoy is that Bruno's "You're Kamala Khan. If you want to save the world, then you're gonna save the world" line did make it into the previously on, because I thought that was a beautiful moment in the first episode, and I liked reliving that one. And then we were back to the traditional epic intro, which was fitting, and it also made me realize that I cannot wait until that intro is updated and has all of what I'm gonna refer to as the Young Avengers, even though I know like technically some of them aren't members of like official Young Avengers teams. They will be in my MCU canon, even if regular MCU canon doesn't follow up on this promise they've really been building. And then the best walk-in cool high school scene ever. And my favorite part about Kamala's like slick moving high school scene is that it didn't record stop and be uncool. Like her running into somebody moment actually ended up being kind of cute, and there wasn't any like, let's step out of her head and she's not as cool as she thinks she is or anything like that. Like it was exactly as cool, as smooth as she was imagining, and I liked that. Kamala deserves that because she is boss, and I thought it was really, really fun. Like she was slaying, and I was here for every moment. Then I wrote, see, there's another Ant-Man mention. I also really liked the idea of her comparing herself to Ant-Man because they're both younger than they look, which is a great Paul Rudd joke. Some prime writing there. But seriously, somebody, am I gonna get Paul Rudd in this series? Like, why are you telling me so much? Why is Ant-Man so prominent? Or are the writers of this just real big Paul Rudd fans, and so they wanted to talk about Ant-Man a lot? I don't know. But if somebody was gonna show up and it was Ant-Man, I would be fine with that. And then I wrote, Kamala's the worst at keeping a secret identity, which is true. And wow, does it get proven a little bit later, well, almost to the end of the show. But it was hilarious to me that Nakia was talking up the superhero, and Kamala was like, thank you. And then Bruno had to cover her by being like, yeah, thank you for saying that Zoe's blowing things out of proportion. Totally cool. But I did enjoy Zoe just like thriving off the fact that she got her life saved by the superhero. I mean, like, yes, well, it was a transformative experience. And she's like making stuff up. Also, Nightlight. What a name. I can't decide if that is the best or the most it's not the most unfortunate superhero name. Like, there have been some worse ones. But Nightlight is pretty funny. I love it. Like, I'm about it. It's right up there with Sparkle Fists. So, like, I'm in for Nightlight. And then I go, oh, somebody has a crush because there's a new boy and he's kind of cute, which was adorable. I really enjoyed this classic training montage with like the sprinkles of other conversations. I thought it was dynamic and fun, a little bit different than a classic montage, but still like got the same information. And you know, Bruno's the coolest. That's it. Also, purple eyes, man, I love purple eyes. Kamala's eyes like glowing purple. That was great. And the let me go bit where she is hanging off of the side of the wall and then he lets her go and it was just like a 4-foot drop. That killed me. Like, I laughed out loud. Peak comedy moment. Very, very well done. But by the end of that montage, she is conquering and I am about it. And I really then loved the mosque scene. I thought it was a great dynamic. Also an interesting way to introduce some like cultural norms that I am unfamiliar with as a non-Muslim, non-Pakistani person. But I thought like it was very smoothly done, the way that they wove in what I would consider some like cultural exposition into that scene. And I really liked that. Also, I was really mad that somebody stole Nakia's shoes because that's rude. And that also shoe theft is a thing that has been happening. If we don't solve that mystery in this series, I'm gonna be a little sad because like I feel like I've been really heartily introduced to the shoe theft because not only were her shoes missing, but then she talked about the number of shoes that had gone missing. And so I feel like it's something that needs resolved. So I'm looking forward to that in the next few episodes. And then they go to a party and Bruno, chef's kiss human that he is, calls out the guy who tries to tell Kamala that this drink is just orange juice and that has vodka in it because that's rude. Okay? Consent is important and that includes drinks. Don't lie to people about what you're giving them to drink. That's a jerk move. And then a boy dives into the pool and he comes out and it's the hot boy that everybody has a crush on and he's got these 100s and hots and little animations and it's so cute. And then he comes right up to Kamala because she's standing on her shirt. And then he's being really, really nice. He like helps them hide from the cops and drives them away. And they're like bonding over Bollywood and being really, really cute. And Bruno was giving me like mad Bucky in the backseat vibes, which I really enjoyed. And here's the thing, is that was all really adorable. And then it also really set off my spidey sense. Like I maybe have become jaded and cynical, but I was like, this guy, too nice too soon. He's probably evil. But the text on the comforter where he was like, driving lesson tomorrow, and she was like, totally, that's so cute, seriously. Pop-up boxes, never gonna cut it anymore. The like heart in the lights, the little dream sequence when she's like singing when she gets back into her home was also really cute. And like the way that it just flowed into reality and then back out without seeming weird. Like I really like that they haven't done that classic like pull back and the character like looks awkward because of this dream sequence thing. Like I love that they're just like, nope, we're in it. And Kamala just is cool because she is cool. And then we get to the moment where hot new boy Kamran is just letting Kamala drive his car, like his fancy car. And like if my spidey sense was tingling in the like he's being really nice to them scene, but I like wasn't sure because it could have just been the like, haha, he's hot and he's sweet and like we need Bruno to be angsty. No, when he let her drive his really fancy car and we've seen her driving, my spidey sense was like, bah, bah, bah. By the way, this is all terrible and you should be concerned. So I was worried, but that didn't stop the scenes from being really cute. And that entire cafe scene was really cute and also very awkward. And then we go back to Kamala's house where we learn that her brother had a Hot Topic goth face, which I really loved. And I also really loved that her family was like, yep, that's why we moved to America, so that our kids could be whoever they wanted to be, including a Hot Topic goth. And then we get a little bit of an origin story for the bracelet and a little bit of Pakistani history. But there's obviously like a lot of hostility and a lot of dark and scary sound cues. We can't know the history of this bracelet. It's dangerous. It's dark. No one wants to talk about it. Shame on our families. Like, concerning. But then we roll into a celebration, what I really, really enjoyed was Nakia like laying out all of the cliques, including the Illuminantes, who know everything, which was great. And also the Insta clique, which are all the girls who are taking Instagram photos constantly. Just the cliques were really funny in the way she was laying them out. But she is running for mosque board and she is not pulling punches. Your girl is playing hardball and I am here for it because I love her. Also, I wrote, those buttons are totally merch. Like, if that isn't gonna be on Marvel's must-haves, I will literally eat an onion. And I hate, and I mean hate, onions. But look at that pin. Like, that is a piece in a show that she dropped on his plate that clearly says, hi, I'm officially licensed Marvel merch, buy me. Because like, who does that kind of pin for a campaign? For mosque board, you don't do that. And then we hop over to the DODC. Do we know that acronym? I don't know that acronym. Did I look it up? No. Why would I do that? That's not the point of these videos. But it does seem like I hate them. Like 2 seconds in, I despise them. I despise the way they do their questioning. I despise the way that they set everything up. I didn't like, the whole scene was very icky, which is good. You wanted me to know who the villains are. I know who the villains are. Good job, Marvel. And then we learn just like a little hint of something about Kamala's great-grandmother, the one who had the bracelet before. Although we have already learned that Kamala's power comes in from inside of her. It was just activated by the bracelet. So that is not the bracelet, it's her own power. But there's some interesting stuff, like maybe she was a murderer. I don't know. I assume that we're gonna learn a little bit more about that, but I like this exploration of history along with the learning of her powers. I think that that's kind of fun. And then a kid falls out a window and oh no, I think we need a superhero to rescue him. And lucky for us, Kamala has just packed her cosplay in her bag, I guess. Like, I would believe maybe that she's like, I'm a superhero now, so I gotta have this suit ready at all times. But that helmet, girl, that helmet is not packable. Like, if that's a big piece, should work on that. But there she is in her whole costume, running up, and everybody knows that she is Nightlight. Maybe the Miss Marvel thing will come, but Nightlight is hilarious. It does bring me joy. I hope there's Nightlight merch. Marvel must-haves, I would like some Nightlight merch. And then she, of course, does exactly what we all expect, and she saves the boy, but then she gets bombarded by this vision, which she's had once before, which is somebody like essentially activating the bracelet and trying to speak to her through it, and it makes her almost pass out. And so then her powers slip, and then the boy falls, and she tries to catch him, but she's having trouble because she's not great with her powers, and he hits the car and breaks his ankle, which is devastating to say the least. But you know what, Kamala, like, you're learning, and Wanda once blew up a whole building full of people, so like, I feel like you're doing fine. And then a drone appears, which is bad news bears, and then she runs away from the DODC, and they're chasing her, but she's got powers, and they don't anticipate, haven't figured out how to deal with her yet. And then Kamran is just there to pick her up. And if we thought that my Spidey sense was like tingling when he was nice, and then was sort of blaring when he was like, yeah, sure, girl who doesn't have a license and doesn't know how to drive can drive my fancy car. I was done at this point. I was like, well, that romance was cute, but he's probably a problem. He's got all sorts of secrets. He might be a bad guy, but also he could be S.H.I.E.L.D. or a S.H.I.E.L.D.-like organization. So he could be like a good guy, or he could be a bad guy. The jury is still out. But immediately, Kamala, I am terrible at keeping a secret identity con, just takes her helmet off. Like, ma'am, you did not know that he knew who you were. Maybe he was just saving Nightlight. No, she just takes her helmet off. So then, of course, he knows. But then it turns out it doesn't matter because his mom is in the back seat and she knew who Nightlight was anyway and wants to talk to her. And that was quite a way to end. And there was no post-credit scene because they wanted to give me one in episode 1, and then when they were like, listen, we already gave you your post-credit scene, we're done with that now. I liked this episode. I thought that it built in really interesting ways. It was fun to see Miss Marvel's power grow and the mythology around it. It was interesting to see some history, and it also, I really like the mixture of like the superhero antics mixed in with a fair amount of just living your life, more than I feel like we get with a lot of other characters in other things. So I've really enjoyed this. I can't wait for the next episode, and I will see you tomorrow.